Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me again, Ishlah. And today's video is more of a serious video. Not that serious. It's really just me talking about my first year of college, you know, my freshman year, and how I lost all my friends. It's kind of like half story time, half like advice, that kind of thing. So yeah, if you guys want to watch the rest of this video, let's get right into it. This story time starts around, I'll say maybe like the beginning of August. So yeah, when I first moved in, I didn't really have any like friends from the summertime because, like I said in previous videos, I didn't try to like get in group chats and stuff like that because I just felt like you could get the wrong perception of somebody from a group chat. So I came in and my only friend, it was just me and my roommate, you know, till the end. And yeah, so I'm not gonna use any names in this story, guys. I'm only gonna use my roommate's name because y'all know her and I'm still friends with her and that kind of thing. But the other girls, I'm not gonna use their names because this story isn't to, like, you know, hate on anybody or bring hate to anybody. It's really just me trying to tell my first year of college and my experience and things like that. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. So yeah, the only names I'm gonna use in this story is Darie's and Kirsten's because you guys see them all the time and y'all know who they are. So yeah, so the way I'm gonna tell this story is this is gonna sound so crazy, but I'm gonna tell this story pre-pageant and post-pageant because I look at my freshman year as pre-pageant and post-pageant because, you know, that's how my friends like alternated and stuff. So yeah, so my first group of friends, Daria and I, and then two other girls. And the two other girls, they were already friends before we met them. They were friends from high school and stuff. And when we first met, they were very sweet girls. We clicked really well around like the beginning of the school year because Spelman has like this new student orientation, and yeah, and during NSO we can't leave like Spelman, so we have to make friends within our school, whatever. So yeah, our first little clique was, let me give them names. I'm gonna end up slipping up and saying their actual names, but okay. So yeah, Sharon and Jayla already knew each other, and Daria actually met both of them when she went to this community service thing. I didn't go. She went and she met them and she was like, they're very sweet. So I was like, okay, we can be friends with them, blah blah blah. So we all met, we clicked. We were like this guy. Everybody knew us. They knew we were the friend, like the actual friend group. Like that was, if anybody wanted to know where the other one was at, they would just ask one of us because we were always together. We were taking cute pictures together, all that type of stuff. So yeah. And when we were in this friend group, we acted very cliquey. That was the first thing that went wrong, is that we clicked up very quick. Like we solidified our friend group and our friendship with these girls very quickly. When we probably should have, you know, waited to see how they acted around guys, you know, when we started joining organizations, that kind of thing, right? And this is all pre-pageant, this is before. So yeah, so then we were finally let outside the gates of Spelman, you know, hallelujah. I feel like every story gets messy when boys are involved, but it is not like what you think, if that makes sense. Like it wasn't like a, oh, she's taking the type of guy I want, or oh, blah blah blah. Like it's literally just like we had so many guys in our friend group because we were so eager to have friends at the beginning of the school year that we were just like taking guy friends. Like we were just like, okay, come on, yeah, you can join too, yep, you too, come on, you can get in the circle. So we were just, you know, adding a lot of people to our group, which I also feel like probably messed us up because there was a lot of miscommunication. And so one of my friends in the friend group, she clicked with the boys better than everybody else did, if that makes sense. Like she talked to them more, they talked to her more, like they were more in her face. And even guys that I thought were my best friends would be all on her. So it made me like, what is going on? Like it was irritating me because my friends, like I would find out information about my guy best friends from her and I'd be like, why did you not tell me that? Like, and it wouldn't be petty things like oh, you know, his favorite color is blue. It would be like big things. Like it was like I found out, for example, that he got an internship after she told me, and like things like that, things that I would want to be involved in, and I was just like. But then one day I realized that she would like text him and be like, we should go eat dinner and blah 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 blah, and that's not her fault that she's an outgoing person, because I'm not like that. Like and if I'm asking you, I feel like I'm, you know, forcing you to hang out with me, so I'll just like wait until somebody else invites me, and that's not her fault. That was really like, that was an Ishlah problem. That was an Ishlah not being outgoing problem, you know. So yeah, so we started to create like a rift there, and then there were issues with like one of our other friends who was also part of the friend group, and she was very shy. So Jayla liked this guy who was all of our friends, but Sharon talked to this guy more, so it was like Jayla was too shy to talk to him. So it was more like Jayla was kind of mad at Sharon because Sharon was talking to the guy that she liked more. Like things like that, you know? Very high school things that shouldn't matter in college. You know, our friendship started to fall apart around the time where it was right before I was going into my pageant, and Daria and I started to like remove ourselves from that friend group because they started to do like petty little things. Like for example, during homecoming, this was homecoming, right? Yeah, homecoming. During homecoming, we had just had an argument with our old friend group, and Daria and I tried to reconcile with them. Like we went to the game by ourselves, and then we tried to sit with them and like, you know, hi guys, how are you, blah blah blah, you know, like trying to you know, bring the friendship back together, because that was our first friend group. Like this was a solidified friend group, you know. And by homecoming it was like October, yeah, I think homecoming was like around October, like October-ish. So yeah, we were friends for a pretty good amount of time. Like that's at least like what, 3 months, 2.5 months. It was a long time. In college, guys, when you get to college, I swear a week was like a year. So 2.5 months was like 2 years, literally. Like we knew everything about each other. Like we cried to each other, we knew literally everything. So it was hurting me, because the type of person I am, once you say that you're my sister, I'm gonna do everything I possibly can to keep you in my life, because I feel like if you're my sister, then you need to be here with me, you know. After that, yeah, okay, so we were at homecoming and we tried to sit by them, and we sat by them and they were like, hey hey blah blah, like we, you know, very surface level, very hey hi, you know, all that. And then at the end of the game, one of our ex-guy friends got up and he was like, oh, so guys, we're going to Chick-fil-A, blah 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 blah, not including me and Darius. So we're sitting there like like oh y'all had plans, like y'all not even gonna attempt to invite us. So we were sitting there, we were like, and then one of our guy friends looked over and was like, oh, y'all want to come too? And we were like, yeah, no, like if my 2 girlfriends sitting here aren't gonna invite me themselves, like no, like we're not, no, I'm good, I'm fine. So yeah, that is pretty much how our friendship fell apart. Even there were more things to it which were kind of deep, so I don't want to like, you know, spoil out people's business, but there was a lot that went into that friendship that made it fall apart. And yeah, after that, Daria and I kind of like group topped to another group during homecoming, and now Jayla and Sharon, we have no issues. Like we reconciled. We were all like, you know, we were young, whatever, you know, no bad blood, you know, that type of thing. Because honestly, did anybody really care? Like we didn't. It was petty stuff, and I was just like, it makes no sense to like dwell on this type of thing when we have 4 years to be with each other. Like, so the next friend group we were in was with these other girls. I can't even like think of names for them, but it was 3 girls. They were already, this was our issue, we were jumping into friendships with people that were already friends, so they already had their ways, they already had their, you know, connections, and we were just here, right? So we joined that friend group, and there was honestly like nothing wrong with that friendship. It was just more so of a, like, they weren't on the same energy that Daria and I were, because if you hang around us for a long time, you realize that we're capital C crackheads, like to the T. Like we spaz. And they just weren't on that type of level. They were really like they just wanted to stay in their room, you know, that kind of thing. And it just wasn't, the friendship just wasn't clicking. My most recent friendship that just ended, this one is a long story, very long. So that was all pre-pageant, I think. By homecoming, I just finished like RHA. So I won the LLC pageant, and then I just finished RHA. So the homecoming was like after that, but the football game and everything, that was like still at the beginning before we got to like, you know, intertwine with, you know, our pageant sisters and all that type of thing. So yeah. So this friendship, the next one I'm going to tell you guys about, the third one, the last one, the one that just blew up in our faces. This is post pageant. So I have been a hall queen for, I think, maybe, okay, yeah, like 3 months. This friendship, we started to get close with this girl around like November, after we, you know, stopped talking. Well, we didn't stop talking to the homecoming group, but we didn't talk to them as much because they weren't on the same, you know, crackhead wavelength that Derry and I were on. So yeah, and this was after the pageant. So Kirsten and I had started to get close because that's where I met her. We're pageant sisters, and that's how we became friends. So yeah, we met this other group of girls. It was 3 girls. They were friends, but one of the girls in that friend group had already tried to be our friend at the beginning of the school year, and we weren't really on her energy. So this story is crazy. So I'm putting emphasis on pre-pageant and post-pageant because there's a lot of differences. So around November, that was when I started getting more into like doing my like hall queen duties, you know, like I was throwing parties with them and like having voter registrations and that kind of thing. So this one girl, one of the new girls that we met that integrated into our friend group, I'm gonna call her Y integrated into our friend group, and she met Derriere first. Well, she knew all of us, but her and Derriere started talking first, and then Derriere was like, yeah, Ishlah, she seems nice, blah 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 blah, and I was like, okay, fine. So then Y and I, we started to get extremely close. Like, we were very close. And yeah, we did everything together. Like, I would be in her room all day long, she'd be in my room all day long. We would meet each other in the morning for Starbucks, etc, etc. And yeah, it was like a perfect friendship. Like, it was almost like the one we had at the beginning, but it was different to the point to where we were more honest with each other. Like, they would tell us a lot of things that we didn't even need to know. So yeah, so one day Y and I were together, and she would always hang with me when I went to LOC, which wasn't weird to me because most of my friends did, because it was just something to do. Like, Spelman gets boring at a certain period of time, so we would just go to Morehouse, and if I had something to do in LOC anyway, I would just be like, okay, come on guys, we can all go together, you know. So it wasn't weird to me. I was just like, okay, come on, you know, make sure you look cute, blah blah blah, like just tag along, you know. She would hang out with me a lot when I was with them, and then the closer we got, the more I started like bringing her to things that I did in LOC with my the boys that I was talking of. So like, they have stroll practice because they stroll. There are videos of that on my channel somewhere. And so when we started to get closer, she would come to their practices with me, and eventually she started to like one of them. And you know, since she was my homegirl, since she was my sister, you know, I do anything to make my sisters happy. I was like, you like him? Of course, I'll get you his number, blah blah blah. So you know, I set that whole thing up, you know, being a good friend. And she was also strange, if that, like, I don't want to bash her because I really have no hard feelings. I don't care anymore. I'm just like, it's sophomore season, I'm ready to go do things that I want to do. Like, it's summer, I don't care. So I don't want to bash her, you know, but I want to tell the story because it was very it was strange. So she would do things like, literally, we weren't talking to the friend group that we had pre-pageant, you know, Sharon, Jayla, and all the guys there. And she would literally see one of the guys from that friend group and run up to them and like hug them, and the guys would be looking like, because she didn't talk to them prior to us telling her what happened, you know. It was things like that. Like, for example, if I told her that I liked the guy hypothetically and he rejected me, she would literally go out of her way to go talk to him, and it would be like, and I'd be sitting there like, girl, where is the actual, like, where's the loyalty? Like, I'm confused, like, you know. And I'm not that type of person that's like, if I don't like them then you shouldn't like them, because I honestly don't care. I'm like, I'm friends with you, but at the same time it's weird to me because it's like, if you know they don't like me and you're friends with them, what are y'all talking about? Like, you know, y'all have to be talking about me. I'm gonna come up in the conversation eventually, and what are you gonna do, sit there and let them bash me, or are you telling them my business, you know? So it was things like that. And she would literally do it all the time, not just to me though, to all of our friends. Like, if we told her that we liked the guy, she would go out of her way to talk to that guy, and I'd be like, I'm just like so yeah. And then coming, like, being Hawk Queen, I got to talk to a lot of guys, which honestly it didn't matter to me, because in high school I literally had my small little friend group, which was all girls, and I didn't really talk to guys like that. Like, and I've never been like boy crazy. I've just been, and I'm always chilling. So like me talking to a lot of guys was never a big deal for me. And I honestly, I was just happy that I won the pageant, because I didn't think I was. I was just chilling, you know. And I've never been like popular per se. Like, nobody's ever known me, so I never really knew what it was like when somebody used you for something. But the closer we got in that friendship with Y and I started to feel like she was using me a lot. Like, a lot of the parties and things that she got into because of me, you know, because of the friends that I had from doing the pageant and things like that. So I was just like, it was just weird. And then all I asked for in return was loyalty, and she couldn't give me that. So let me give y'all the scenario. So basically, my friends and we got into this altercation with a couple of girls. Not really an altercation, more like an argument, you know, whatever, with these girls at the like January, like right when we got back to school. And the girls didn't have an issue with me. They just knew me because one of my guy friends was in the drama too. So I really didn't have a part in it. I was just there until they started screaming at my friends. Then I was like, look, sweetie, we're not gonna do this. You're not gonna scream at my friends, because, you know, like I said, I'm a writer. And yeah, so they were screaming at my friends, and I jumped in, and then that made them not like me, right? So these girls that we were in the altercation with originally did not like Y and Kirsten and one other friend who's really irrelevant to the story. Like, nobody, we really didn't talk about that anyway. So, but Y and Kirsten, she didn't like them. So after the whole altercation ended and the girls who we got in the argument with stopped liking me and my roommate, Y went out of her way to be their friend. I was like, just like, why did that make sense? Did that make any sense? If you know that they don't like us because I was sticking up for you, why why would you actually go and try to be their friend? I was like, that don't make any sense. Why would you go do that? That made no sense. Like, what was the actual point? And she would literally, like, we'll be in Starbucks and she'll see the girls that don't like me over here and call them over to where I'm at in line to say hi to them. And I was like, why? It was just really crazy. It was things like that. And I was like, and she was also the type of girl that was like, I'm not a fighter, I'm a lover. So I'm like, if you know these girls do not like me and they want to, like, fight me, you know, why would you bring them over to me knowing that you're not going to fight for me? Like, I would just be getting jumped because I would be sitting there like this and you would just be, you know, wincing in the back. So it was just like, so yeah. And then another issue that came up with that is that one day I was in LOC again because, you know, I was just in there and I was complaining about being tired. And one of the boys in my dorm was like, I have a coffee for you, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So he gave me a Starbucks coffee. And then one of my other boys had gave me a water. And she literally was like, why do y'all keep giving her things? I was like, sweetie, you're in the dorm that I'm Hawk Queen of. Like, not saying that they cater to me, but like, what do you mean? Why do y'all keep giving her stuff? I'm like, sis. So it was things like that, and I never want to claim somebody's jealous of me, because who am I? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know. But it was just things like that, and I would just sit there and think, like, and Daria was even like, Ishlah, that's weird, and I was like, and Kirsten was like, Ishlah, that's weird, and I was like, and Kirsten and Daria had mentally checked out of the friendship, you know, a while ago, because they were just like, they kept saying things that was strange. But you know me, Ishlah, trying to hang on to everything, trying to hang on to, you know, the friendships that nobody's giving me a return. I was the one like, no, y'all should be nice to her, like, don't talk bad on her, you know, like, invite her to things, you know, blah 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 blah. Like, everything I got invited to, I'd be like, come on girl, you want to come too? Sure, you can come. Like, even a birthday party that she went to, we invited her. Like, it was just things like that, and I was just like, the most you could give me in return, because not saying that you have to give me something just because, you know, I'm being nice to you, but like, if you can't, if you're taking everything from me, like everything that you want to do you're getting because you're friends with me, maybe you should, like, the least you can do in return is like give me loyalty, especially because I was defending you. Like, if it was just somebody that didn't like me, because there's a lot of people that don't like me, I mean, I look mean, it's fine, but if they don't like me because I was defending you, I just feel like you should at least give me loyalty. Because like what is loyalty? Loyalty is just like you saying, you know, you being like, oh, don't talk about her like that, or, you know, don't talk to me while I'm with her. Like, or I don't care what you do when I'm not there, like, have fun, you know, go to the movies, whatever, but when I'm there, do not bring them over, you know, they don't like me. Like, and that was one of the biggest, like, knives. This is the circle of our friendship, and this was just, it was the biggest knife in our friendship, and I was just like, I can't do it, because I know that if they came and jumped me, you would literally just stand there. Oh, this was the final straw. A lot of the friends that Y had got second semester was also because she was hanging out with me. So you know, because I'm the type of person, like, if I'm standing here with somebody else, I'm going to introduce you to that person, because it's just like, that's rude to just sit there and be like, hey girl, and then go back to my conversation. Like, I'm gonna be like, hi, why, this is so and so. And it wasn't even a bunch of guys, it was girls too, it was also guys, it was girls, you know, people she never talked to before, you know, that kind of thing. And like I've always said, I don't really know people at Spelman. Like, I do, but I'm mostly at Morehouse because that's where most of the things that I'm interested in. So I spend most of my time at Morehouse because that's the audience I'm going for, like, you know. And so I don't really know Spelman girls like that. Like, I know a couple, but I don't really know them deep. And so she would go and, like, literally have friends with her that I've never met before and just be like, okay, bye. And I'm like, are you not going to introduce me to your friend? Even if I was like, hey, they would literally walk away. And I'm like, this is weird, because why are you hiding me, per se? Like, you cannot be friends with me only when you want to. Like, this needs, if we're gonna be sisters and, you know, besties and friends and stuff, you need to be friends with me all the time. Like, the last issue I had with Y, which really, like, broke our friendship up, was that she would just tell her business. I was just like, to anybody though, like, and that's why I wasn't really friends with her first semester, because the first time I met her, she was telling me all her business, and I was just like, sis, my brain, I can't focus. Like, this is too much. Like, why are you telling me the tea and I didn't even ask for it yet? Like, I don't even have a cup. Like, back up. And yeah, so she would just tell, like, personal, like, the deepest personal stories that she should keep to herself, all that she would tell. And I was just like, I am not comfortable with you knowing my business. If you can even keep your own business, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's different if you're going around telling other people's business, because, I mean, that's other people's business. But if you're avidly telling your own deepest, darkest secrets, you would tell mine in a heartbeat. Like, without anybody asking, you would just be over there like, and there are a lot of things that I want to do throughout my matriculation in college that I don't want anyone to know. Like, I want it to be a, you know, a surprise. I want to keep it a secret. So if I'm telling you my business and you to the entire school. It's just like, why would I need that in my life, you know? So yeah, that was, we started to, you know, break that friendship off. And the way it broke off was very weird. It was just like, you know, when something just starts to like, you're like this and then it just flatlines. That's kind of how the friendship was. Like, we were here all the time and then eventually it was just like it was never an ending argument. We were supposed to talk, but she tried to do, well, I tried to do everything through Daria, because Daria is literally like my sister. So I guess in her brain she thought that if she did everything through Daria it would be easier to get to me. But I was irritated because I'm like, you have my number, you have all my social medias, you know where I live because you were in there 24/7. You should come talk to me or text me and tell me yourself that you have an issue with me. And that's honestly, now that I'm remembering it, that's honestly where I was done. I was like, I can't do this anymore because this is ridiculous. Like, don't go tell everybody else that you have an issue with me and don't come to me. Like, she was the type to cry a lot and I can't deal with tears. Like, if I'm going off on you and you're crying, it's gonna make me madder. It's gonna piss me off even more. So I'm just gonna start going in more and then it's gonna look like I'm bullying you. So I was just like, look, I can't do it right now. I can't. So yeah, the friendship just withered away. Half of my friendships freshman year, I have no regrets, honestly. And not even in a shady way. It was just like all of those friendships taught me more about myself and gave me a lot of like outlook on how I should, you know, get into friendships in the future. So yeah, I don't feel bad about that friendship or any of my friendships that I lost freshman year, because honestly, if I needed those friendships, God would have kept them in my life, and that's all I gotta say, period. But yeah, okay, advice. Let me give you guys my advice from my long-winded story, you know. So like incoming freshmen, regardless of where you go, but especially, I'm out of breath, especially if you go to like a small school, my advice would be to not click up so quickly. First of all, before you solidify who you want to be your friends, make sure you try every type of pie before you choose key lime pie, you know. Make sure you try every friend group before you just, you know, limit yourself to being in that one friend group. And then also, if you have like a core group, do not limit yourself to only hanging out with that core group. And also, advice is to just be comfortable with yourself, you know. Be okay being alone, which is honestly also something I learned this year. Like, I used to detest in high school. I did not want to go to the cafe by myself. Like, I needed my friends with me. I did not want to walk in line by myself. I didn't want to go to the bathroom by myself. But now it's like, I'll go to Walmart by myself. Granted, that's not safe, but like, last advice would be to never ever break up a friendship over a boy. And I know y'all's moms told y'all this before, like, do not break up a friendship over a boy. Nor should you give everything away because your friend likes a boy, which is also something that Ishlah had to learn. Because if I liked a guy first and then my friend started liking him, I would literally like suppress my feelings so she could have him, because I'm just that type of person. And my roommate harassed me about it, and I had to learn that Ishlah needs to be selfish sometimes and, you know, go after what she wants. And I lost a lot of things this year because I was just like, I'll just let my friend have it, you know. Maybe she wants it more, maybe she deserves it more, instead of going and getting it myself. So yeah, end of my little rant. If you guys have any more questions about college, or if you guys want me to tell you some more story times, or like y'all want me to tell y'all more story times or something like that, just make sure you hit the thumbs up button on this video. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you watch the rest of my little college vlogs, because, you know, they're lit in my opinion. Follow me on all my social medias, they'll be linked down below. Okay guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time.